Πάμε εδώ. Εγώ επιστρέφω.
April 2022, in San Bernardino, California, a couple would capture this footage on a home security camera placed in their bedroom. The video shows a man who just a few moments before had broken into the house. He walks around the couple's bedroom as they're sleeping just next to him. While covering his face with some sort of cloth, he silently rummages through some of their belongings. But at times, he also just straight up stares at the couple as they're lying there. Later, he would be caught on a different camera, this one in the living room. He walks right past the couple's son and his night nurse, both also sleeping. From there, he unlocks the front door and lets himself out. But a few minutes later, now caught on the doorbell camera, he's seen coming back. Though, by this point, the night nurse had woken up and noticed him at the door. He would then simply tell her to lock the door because it wasn't safe to keep it open. Taking his advice, she does, completely unaware that he had broken into the house only a few minutes prior.
Okay, thanks.
The man had originally gotten into the house through a slightly opened window. It was open in order to keep medical equipment cool, which was used to help the couple's son breathe. In the morning, the couple would notice their wedding rings and some cash missing. They would review their security cameras, and that's when they would first see this footage. The man has since been tracked down by police using DNA evidence. He's currently being investigated for committing multiple additional crimes of the same nature on other homes that didn't have security cameras. This video shows the footage from one family's home security camera that was placed in their living room. At first, all seems normal, but the man in the footage then begins to hear the song "Somebody's Watching Me" play. It's not coming from the TV, and what I assume is his wife claims she isn't playing it.
What is that?
They're all talking.
What was that noise? I heard, like, singing.
Huh?
Did you change the ringer on your phone or something?
No. I didn't change anything.
You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear anything there.
There. What is... You hear that? Stop it. I know you're playing a game.
Heard what?
Τι έγινε, δεν κατάλαβα τίποτα.
My phone is in my purse. It's not you?
I swear to God, it's not me.
Κάποιος τραγουδάει μες στο σπίτι τους.
I always feel like somebody's watching me, is what it just said. That song, which is kind of weird. Seeing there's a camera over there.
There's something, but it's coming from the TV.
Yeah, and it was. I always feel like somebody's watching me, that song.
Somebody that's saying that stupid ass thing.
There it is.
Από πού ακούγεται? Από την κάμερα. Κάποιος την έχει χακάρει.
It turns out the song was coming from his camera. Someone had hacked the live feed, which included audio controls, and began playing music that, in this context, is pretty disturbing. There are multiple different ways this could have been done. Most camera feeds are broadcasted online through applications that allow anyone to access the camera with proper credentials.
Τι λέει και φάρσα, ρε, τι λες?
Some applications make it shockingly easy to bypass this. Even when they don't, other methods such as phishing and various social engineering attacks can be used to grant someone access.
Το site αυτό είναι από τα 90s.
This video isn't the only example of this. There are many other similar videos out there.
Πλέον όσο και να τρομάξω να τριχιάσω τίποτα, δεν μου επηρεάζει τον ύπνο. Έχω γίνει γαϊδούρη στο θέμα του ύπνου. Και εγώ γενικά δεν έχω θέμα. Αλλά όντως με τον unboxing στον τελευταίο Dark Files, βασικά κοιμήθηκα μια χαρά, αλλά ξύπνησα 3 και 20, 3 και 10, κάτι τέτοιο. Και λέω γιατί ξύπνησα τέτοια ώρα, creepy. Και μετά φοβόμουν.
This concept is often known as IP camera trolling, and it's a bit of a rabbit hole. Multiple YouTube and Twitter accounts have posted these types of videos online. A lot of them will play songs trying to get a reaction from the camera owner, but others will speak into the camera. For example, they'll comment on what is
Πόρε
happening,
στο παιδάκι,
insert
ρε.
themselves into
Δηλαδή,
a
ποια
conversation,
καθάραματα να
or
πω, τι
they'll attempt to
βλάκες.
spook the
Θες να
camera
κάνεις
by using
φάρσα
a ghostly
στο
voice,
παιδί.
all in an attempt to garner a reaction. Unknown to the people in the video,
Έλα,
these
ρε.
reactions are then posted online
Πόσο
for others
βλάκας
to view.
είσαι.
A lot of people see it as a harmless prank. It's pretty much known as its
Γι'
own
αυτό
genre of video at this
πάντα
point. There are even tutorial videos out there explaining how to do it.
καλύπτουμε πώς θα δούμε τις κάμερες μας.
But
Αυτές όμως είναι για το
obviously,
σπίτι και
done with
καλά,
the
άμα
wrong
μπει
intent,
κάποιος.
and
Είναι
this is
μόνιμα
much more
ανοιχτές.
dangerous. Just to touch the surface, individuals could use access to these cameras to collect images and recordings for blackmail or extortion purposes. I mean, there's no way everyone gaining access to these cameras is simply looking for some funny reaction. Nowadays, while not all of them, a lot of these accounts and videos have been removed. But stuff like this still happens. Videos similar to these will still occasionally show up around the internet. Regular home security cameras are not the only type of cameras susceptible to hacking. Really, anything connected to an IP network can be accessed. So this can include things like an integrated webcam in a laptop, or even a baby monitor. A couple in Cincinnati, Ohio would experience this firsthand when, in the middle of the night, a baby monitor they had for their 10-month-old daughter was hacked into. The mother had woken up to the sound of a man's voice coming from her daughter's room.
Τώρα
She
σοβαρά.
then opened her phone to view the baby
Δηλαδή
monitor's live feed.
πόσο
That's when
βλάκας
she
μπορεί
noticed
να...
the camera was moving,
Τι?
but she wasn't moving it from her phone, it was doing it by itself.
Sound asleep about midnight. All of a sudden I heard it
Μιλέξτε
sounded like
μωρό.
a man's voice, but
Ρε.
you know, I was so asleep I wasn't sure. About the time I saw it moving, I also heard a voice again start screaming at my daughter.
The two would rush into
Τώρα
the
ο
room,
άλλος τρόμαζε το
and that's when the
μωρό.
camera turned from the couple's daughter to the couple themselves. Frantically, they unplugged the camera, cutting the feed.
Άρρωστοι άνθρωποι,
It's hard to
πραγματικά.
believe
Είναι
the whole
πολύ
situation was
άρρωστοι.
simply an attempt to get some sort of reaction from the couple, especially considering it was a baby monitor camera that was being hacked. But at the end of the day, there's really no way of knowing for sure what the intentions were. This happened
δεν μπορούν να
in
τους βρούνε
February of
κάπως.
2017. A mother in Billings, Montana would wake up in the middle of the night to a notification on her phone. Her phone was synced to a baby monitor she had set up in her infant daughter's room. And anytime there was enough motion detected, the system would send out a notification. On this night, upon being alerted, she would open the app expecting to see her daughter awake and walking around her crib, that being what caused the notification. But instead, she would see this.
Ρε, τι
She didn't
λες.
know is seen on the camera crouched down in the room. Right as she saw this, she dropped her phone and ran to the room to retrieve her
Μπορούν
daughter.
να θέλουν νομικές πράξεις.
She
Να
didn't know
κάνουν
she
οι
didn't
άνθρωποι
see
τις
anyone,
νομικές
but she wasn't
διαδικασίες.
exactly looking. Rather, as quickly as she could, she grabbed her daughter from her crib and ran straight out the house's front door. From there, she would call the cops and proceed to stand outside waiting for them. When they arrived, they conducted a complete search of the home, but they didn't find anyone.
Φυσικά και δεν
The
τον
intruder
βρήκανε.
was gone. All the mother had for evidence was this still frame she managed to capture of the man crouched down in the room. People have since tried to enhance the photo to get a better look at the man so that he could be identified, but to no avail. It's just too dark. Police still don't know who this man is. They also don't know how he got in the house. There were no signs of forced entry. A very odd detail is it was found that nothing but the remote to a dog shot collar was stolen from the house. Nothing further would occur after the break-in. Who this man is and how he got in the house is still
Άμα
unknown.
είσαι παιδί γερουσιαστή θα το βρουν χθες. Άμα δεν είσαι, έτσι. Ισχύει.
This home security camera in Overland Park, Kansas captured the home robbery of 21-year-old Katie O'Connor. Though this didn't occur while she was out. Instead, Katie was home and being held
Κάτσε, τώρα
hostage while
κατάλαβα
the
τι έγινε.
robbery was
Ρε, ο
taking
άλλος στον
place.
καναπέ την κρατάει από το
Near the
λαιμό.
bottom left of the screen, you can see a man holding her in a headlock while another man and woman take her belongings, all while she can do nothing but watch.
Don't move.
Oh my god.
Τι άνθρωποι είναι αυτοί. Τι άνθρωποι είναι αυτοί.
But more unsettling is how the three got in the house in the first place. As it turns out, the woman walking around the house, Cheyenne Watts, who was also taking part in the robbery, was, up until that point, what Katie would consider a good friend. They were friends for a while, and would even schedule playdates for their children.
Τι?
And so, earlier this day, when Cheyenne went up to Katie's door, she was of course let in without question. But, completely unknown to Katie, this time she had brought 2 other men with her, who all had the intent to hold
Καλά, οι
her
άλλοι
hostage in her
αφού
own home as the 3 of them
γνωριζόντουσαν, δεν
robbed her.
ήξερε ότι θα την καταγγείλει και θα την βρουν.
Eventually, the
Ποιο
man
είναι το
holding Katie in a
πλάνο?
headlock would notice a cord, and assume it was for a camera somewhere in the home.
Where's the camera? Shut the door and lock.
Please, I need.
Where's the camera? Lock the door. Don't say nothing. Where is it?
It's on the wall.
Okay, where's the video footage, sir? Where's the footage, sir?
It's a
Where?
Wi-Fi.
Where's the footage?
It's not there. It's wireless.
Hey,
I'm not trying to get this right now.
Finally, the 3 locate the camera and point it away from them, but they fail to unplug it, which wouldn't really matter anyway because the whole thing was already being uploaded to the cloud in real time. However, because they didn't unplug it, you can hear them begin to turn on each other as they realize there's nothing they can now do to get rid of the footage, as again, all of it is already stored on an offsite
Μα
hard drive.
συγγνώμη, και να μην τους είχε καταγράψει, αφού την ήξερε. Θα πήγε να πει στην αστυνομία, η γνωστή μου η τάδε ήρθε και με έκλεψε. Και θα έλεγε η άλλη, όχι, δεν πήγα.
shut up. Everybody's talking to you. Shut the up.
Finally, they unplug the camera, but of course, it's already too late.
Ναι, τύπησαν με τους
Still, the three
κλέφτες.
proceed with the robbery.
Κλέβαν την κοπέλα
And
που,
in
αυτή
the
που
end,
την
they
κρατάνε
use the
στον
same
καναπέ.
tools, a safe, and cash Katie had saved up for school and rent. Fortunately, Katie would end up getting out of the situation unharmed. Later, Cheyenne and one of the men would be found and arrested by police. However, the other man, the one that held Katie in a headlock, has yet to be found. This home security camera footage captured the break-in of a home in Wichita, Kansas. It was the night of May 8th, 2020, at 2:30 a.m.
Το ρεάλ κοιμούνται.
Shown
Ναι,
is 15-year-old
δείτε ρε!
Robinson
Είναι στο
sitting on the couch
καναπέ!
in the living room with the TV on. Then, from around the corner appears a man.
Τι
This
λες
man
ρε.
had only moments earlier
Να
broken into
κοιμάσαι
the
στον καναπέ, να
house.
γυρίσεις λίγο και να
When he
δεις
sees an
κάποιον
eye
εκεί.
on the couch, he doesn't react. Instead, he stays inside and just stands there, watching her.
Γιατί την κοιτάει? Δεν μπήκε να κλέψει, τι κάθεται και την κοιτάει? Τι κάνει? Γιατί?
This went on for several minutes until Anaya woke up. When she opened her eyes, she saw the man right above her. Seeing him, she screamed for her mother. At that point, the intruder fled the home. Police would immediately be called by Anaya's mother, but by the time they got there, the intruder was long gone. Strangely, the man stole nothing. The family thoroughly searched, but discovered nothing was missing. This brought into question the man's true intent here. What exactly he was trying to achieve that night is unclear.
Ήθελε να την τρομάξει απλά, τι
This
ήθελε να
footage is
κάνει?
the only piece of evidence relating to the incident. Therefore, police weren't able to ascertain how the man entered the house. Additionally, they didn't find out who he was. Even today, this man still hasn't been identified. This footage was captured on the night of March 7th, 2019. Shown is a man stepping on a house's front
Άντε
porch and
πάλι!
emptying an entire yellow fuel container just in
Δεν
front
το
of the
ήξερε ότι
door.
αυτό το κάνουν οι άνθρωποι, ότι
The
πάνε
man
έτσι
then
και
attempts
καίνε
to light the
σπίτια.
fuel using a small lighter.
Ρε, γιατί? Αυτός μου δεν ήξερε ότι πάνε έτσι άνθρωποι και βάζουν απλά φωτιά σε ένα σπίτι. Πάω να το κάψω.
After failing to catch the fuel on fire, the man gives up and just walks away. As it turns out, he had mistakenly used diesel fuel rather than regular gasoline. And while gasoline is extremely flammable, diesel fuel is much less so. Had the man used gasoline, and he would have no doubt started the house, along with himself, on fire. In the house at the time was a mother and her 2 children. When the mother saw the footage, she would call the police, who would later identify and arrest the man in his house just across the street. The woman claimed she didn't know the man and had no idea why he would want to harm her and her family. When questioned why he did it, the man claimed he had seen a ghost and was trying to get rid of it, suggesting he was most likely under the influence of something. He was later charged with attempted homicide and arson. On February 2, 2022, a contractor in Houston was working in a townhome. At around 6 p.m., the contractor claimed an unknown man that was armed and wearing a mask suddenly appeared inside the townhome with him. The unknown man proceeded to force the contractor into a bathroom and then tied him up by bounding his feet and hands. Afterwards, he rummaged through the townhome for over an hour, all the while listening to a police scanner to verify the police weren't on their way. And this footage captured exactly that.
Τον έδεσε, ρε. Αυτός φαίνεται πιο τρομακτικός, γιατί έχει τα γαντάκια του, έχει τη μασκούλα του, είναι πιο οργανωμένος από τους άλλους. Αυτός φαίνεται να ξέρει πολύ καλά τι κάνει.
After taking multiple items belonging to the homeowners, who were out of town at the time, the man found the contractor's keys and drove off with his truck that now contained everything that he had stolen. The man was never found by police. However, the stolen truck was. It was found 2 days later, unoccupied in a nearby restaurant parking lot. But ever since, nothing else has been found. This doorbell footage was recorded in the early morning hours of July 26, 2019. While it's not visible in the footage itself, the house just next to the one with the camera had been completely set on fire. And because of how close the houses were, this made the house with the camera at risk of also being set on fire. Shown in the video are some of the other neighbors desperately trying to warn the homeowners of the threat.
Hey guys, yeah. Their house is on fire.
I know, I'm knocking on the door. There's nobody answering.
Τι καλοί γείτονες που πάνε να βοηθήσουν.
The house next door to you is on fire. Your house is almost on fire.
Okay, thank you.
Fortunately, the loud banging was enough to alert the homeowners to the situation. From there, they would get all the children out of the house as quick as possible. They were then brought to one of the neighbors' houses across the street, far enough away from the fire.
Τον ξέρει τον άντρα, εδώ στο παιδί και έφυγε
damage to the trees and part of the garage. The house with the doorbell camera was ultimately left untouched. This footage captured an unknown man walking up to the front door of this house. Right away, he leans against the door and tries to open it. He doesn't even knock, but the doorbell camera alerts the homeowner of motion being detected, so the homeowner still gets up to see who it is. Before asking any questions, the homeowner opens the door to see what the man wants. Then, without any hesitation, the man steps inside the house. Naturally, the homeowner saw this as a red flag, and shortly after tells the man he needs to leave. But he didn't listen, forcing the homeowner to have to physically push him out of the house.
Καλά, ο άλλος πήγε και το άνοιξε.
Hello. Hi. How are you, sir? Who are you? Aaron right now. How are you? Good. You need to leave. How far? Out there. What's the staircase? What? What's the stairs? Come on, where are you going? What's the stairs? Goodbye, you.
As the door is being closed on him, the man forcefully punches the glass on the door. But fortunately, the homeowner was still able to close and lock it. The man then continues to stand at the door, trying the door
Ποιο ήταν το πλάνο του,
before
θα
the
ήθελα
video
να
ends.
μάθω. Τι ήθελα να
What this man
κάνει.
had actually planned is unknown.
Ούτε ο ίδιος ήξερε τι ήθελα να κάνει.
This video was taken on the night of August 10th, 2021. A woman is seen returning home from work. She unlocks her door and walks in. But before she can close it again, a man that was armed enters her home just behind her. Shortly after, another man can be seen. The two would demand the keys to the woman's car, and after she gave it to them, they would run back outside to where the car was parked, and they would then drive off with it.
Πριν ξεκλειδώσω, κοιτάω, είναι κανείς κοντά μου, πριν μπω στο σπίτι μου.
Como pa' afuera. Don't move. Don't stay. Don't.
Police were immediately called, and only a couple hours later, they would find the stolen vehicle at a stoplight. They attempted a traffic stop, but the vehicle fled. The highway dispute and rainy conditions that night made following it almost impossible, so police had to give up. The vehicle is yet to be found, but the two involved in the theft would be found only 2 days later. The one that confronted the woman was charged with home invasion, armed robbery, and motor vehicle theft. This happened in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the middle of the night, and this was captured on one homeowner's doorbell camera. A man armed with an actual sword, a hammer, and an axe walks up to the front porch. He then proceeds to steal multiple items outside of the house.
Έχει πάει για να σκοτώσει. Είναι με σπαθί ο τύπος και σφυρί. Ξυφομαχία επιτόπου. Παίζει Zelda μπρο, καλά, το μόνο σίγουρο. Και τι κοιτάει στην αυλή, να κλέψεις τι στην αυλή? Τον βασιλικό.
At one point, a car drives by, but the man completely ignores it. After a while, he walks off with his bag filled with stolen items.
Τι έκλεψε από την αυλή, θα ήθελα να μάθω εγώ. Από την αυλή τι έκλεψε?
While at work, a man in Florida would receive a message on his phone saying someone rang his doorbell. When he checked the live feed, this is what he saw. A man wearing a hat, sunglasses, and bandana is standing at the front door. And disturbingly, he's holding a handgun in clear view of the camera.
Μεταξύ μας με το καπέλο να του κλείνει το οπτικό πεδίο, το τέτοιο εδώ, τα γελιά, και να θέλει να κάνει κάτι, δεν θα δει να κάνει κάτι αυτός.
And wants to look in the homeowner's backyard for it.
Με την μπλούζα για να μην αφήσει αποτυπώματα.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Hey, just wondered if you guys saw a lost puppy. He's a pit bull, blue nose. I believe he came in your yard, but I don't want to look without your permission.
Hey, you at the wrong house, dog.
Alright.
After the homeowner came on the speaker and confronted the man, he quickly left with no questions asked. As it turns out, this wasn't the only house he did this to. Police would state that they had gotten multiple calls with the same description of the man and the exact same story. The man was most likely trying to get homeowners to open their door, where he could then threaten them with his gun, and from there do who knows what. In this specific case, he most likely didn't realize the doorbell camera could see his firearm from where he was standing, which explains why he would be holding it out in the open by his side. Police weren't able to identify the man because of everything he had covering his face. Therefore, he has yet to be caught.
Όχι, το YouTube ξέρω δεν αφήνει όπλα. Αυτός στην κάμερα εκεί πέρα που του λέει του άλλου ότι άνοιξε μου τον Ατάλο. Γιατί δεν έκρυψε το όπλο? Πώς θα σου ανοίξει ο άλλος άμα δει το όπλο?
Security cameras around the world, most commonly in the United States. But what makes this site so disturbing is the fact that it doesn't actually own any of this footage. The description on the homepage of the site reads, "Welcome to Instacam Project, the world's biggest directory of online surveillance security cameras. Select a country to watch live street, traffic, parking, office, road, beach, and earth online webcams. Now you can search live webcams around the world. You can find here."
Μισό, και εγώ είχα ακούσει έτσι ήχους στο σπίτι. Νόμιζα ότι είχα ακούσει τέλος πάντων. και πήρα το κατάνα και βγήκα με το κατάνα. Βέβαια, σας είπα το story, συνειδητοποίησα ότι το κατάνα είναι πολύ βαρύ. Δεν έχω την δύναμη να το κάνω αρκετά γρήγορα για να τραυματίσω κάποιον, αλλά ναι, και εγώ έτσι βγήκα με το κατάνα. Λοιπόν, εδώ πέρα τέλος πάντων, αυτό το βίντεο έχει διάφορα παράξενα sites στο ίντερνετ.
And then it lists a ton of network video cameras available online without a password. So basically how this works is, depending on the manufacturer, different security cameras come with either a default password that's publicly known or no password at all. What this website then does is find all of these cameras and stream its live feed to their website. So, say you bought a home security camera and didn't bother to change or set a password, or maybe you just forgot to. Well, that live feed is accessible, and most likely somewhere on this website. Of course, to avoid this, all you have to do is set your own password, but apparently a lot of people just don't do this. This proves to be a problem when you realize some people put security cameras in their own homes. Getting further into the pages on the website, you're actually able to see this. What you're looking at right now is an example of one I found while getting footage for this segment. This man is most likely oblivious to the fact that his camera's live feed is accessible online. You're also given the country, region, city, and even coordinates of where this camera is. Now, from my research, these coordinates are just estimates, but still, this is a lot of information that could be used maliciously. Also on the homepage it states, only filtered cameras are available now. This way, none of the cameras on Instacam invade anybody's private life. However, as we've just seen, this doesn't exactly seem to be the case. They do give you the option to email them to get your camera removed, but obviously I've never done this myself, so I don't know how responsive they are. Or you can always just change your camera's password to get it off the website. Though, most people with these cameras probably don't even realize they're on the website in the first place. The whole legality of this site falls under a bit of a gray area, resulting in it being up as long as it has. It's not explicitly stated that it's illegal to access these cameras, because, well, they have no security preventing it. It would be illegal, however, if the website accessed these cameras by hacking the passwords set by the users. But this isn't the case. This means the website can't really be taken down, at least as of right now.
Επειδή λέει δεν χακάρανε για να μπουν στις κάμερες, δεν είναι παράνομο, επειδή βάλαν τον κωδικό. Γιατί είναι universal, ας πούμε, ο κωδικός.
Why.info is a much stranger website. Upon visiting it, you'll be met with a screen packed full of different text, pictures, videos, and occasionally you'll hear different audio. There's no specific order to anything on screen, it's all just kind of put together in a seemingly random way. And every time you refresh the page, you get something completely new. There doesn't seem to be any real narrative to the website, it just looks completely random. Like, for example, a piece of text I found that was in English read, "No one would deny that the painter has nothing to do with things that are not visible. The painter is concerned solely with representing what can be seen." Another piece of text read, "My father was a fisherman, so I grew up on boats. You give a boat a name and eyes, and a lot of times it acts like a person and even tells you things. But it isn't a person. Not really. Fishermen are funny sometimes, but my father used to say that you could tell when a man was really crazy, because if he didn't like his boat, he'd sink it instead of selling it. A boat has a spirit, but it takes more than a spirit to make a person." There was a lot of other random text, but most of it not in English. People were trying to make sense of the website, but haven't really ever gotten a clear answer. Eventually, people started noticing there were hidden links you could click within some pages. They were extremely rare and hard to find, but if you did find one, it would take you to some pretty weird place. After refreshing enough times, I actually found one myself. It led me to a completely purple background with an audio clip in the top left corner. This is the audio it played.
Τι έπαιζε? Μη με προγραμματίσετε! Μη με προγραμματίσετε! Δεν θέλω να με προγραμματίσετε! Σταμάτα το! Με προγραμματίζουν!
That's pretty much all it was. There were no words or anything.
Ελπίζω να μην προγραμματίστηκα.
I'm not really sure how to describe it.
Αν κάνω κάτι μελλοντικά, αν σκοτώσω κάποιον,
other people have reported to have found links that led them to other places. One person found this weird 3D rotating teapot. Somebody else found this strange image that doesn't seem to have any meaning.
Εγώ πιστεύω ότι κάποιος έφτιαξε ένα site έτσι είναι πιο
found a link that led them to this. Black and white security camera footage of someone's bedroom, with what looks like someone in the bed. Different links are still being discovered today, but again, no one knows exactly what all of it means. Some have speculated that it's just some big complex art project, but others believe there's some deep hidden message behind all of it. PlaneCrashInfo.com is a website that archives every plane crash around the world. The website goes back as far as the first ever plane crash on September 17th, 1908, to the most recent plane crash as of the recording of this video, that being May 11th, 2022. In other words, if there was a plane crash that occurred, it's most likely going to be on this website. Entries will typically include information such as the date, the location, the route, the pilot, the type of aircraft, the details of the crash, and the fatalities. The website holds a lot of different statistics. One of the pages compiles all accidents with unusual causes. So, for example, on this page there's an entry I found where on August 25th, 2010, quote, a passenger brought aboard a crocodile hidden in a sports bag. The crocodile escaped, causing a panic among passengers who all rushed to one end of the plane. This caused an imbalance in the aircraft, which led to a loss of control and a crash. There's a lot of other pages too, some being quite a bit darker. Like, the website has a page for the 100 worst plane crashes in terms of fatalities. You can also do things like search for a specific flight, sort by category, so like only crashes caused by lightning for example, or you can look at just the photos from the accidents. But most people consider the last words page to be the most disturbing. As the name suggests, the last words page features the last words said by pilots before their aircraft crashed. Reading them as text on your screen is one thing, but some of them actually come with real audio recordings from the pilots' headsets, where you can actually hear their last words being said. I'll play one of these audio clips now, but it's pretty unsettling, so if you'd rather not hear it, you can skip to the timestamp shown on screen. The last words page is filled with many other recordings just like this one.
Μην πάμε ταξίδι το κροκοδιλάκι μας αμέσως να πανικοβληθούν. Το πώς λέγεται, το... Πώς λέγονται τα pets που είναι και καλά για ψυχολογική υποστήριξη.
The story goes that in 2006, a patient of a well-known psychiatrist in New York said she kept having the same man repeatedly appear in her dreams. She was asked by the psychiatrist to sketch out...
Το έχω ακούσει αυτό! Το έχετε ακούσει! Νομίζω ότι, δεν ξέρω αν λέει το ίδιο, αλλά έχω ακούσει ότι υπάρχει μία φάτσα, ένας άντρας που πολλοί άνθρωποι τον βλέπουν στον ύπνο τους, τον συγκεκριμένο άντρα. Ότι τον βλέπουν πάρα πολλοί άνθρωποι. Δεν τον έχω δει ποτέ, ευτυχώς και δεν θα ήθελα. Αλλά ναι, δεν ξέρω αν λέει αυτό.
And this image is the sketch she created. The sketch would lie forgotten on the psychiatrist's desk for a few days, until another one of his patients recognized the face and claimed he too had seen the man in his dreams. This would prompt the psychiatrist to send the sketch to some of his colleagues that have patients with recurrent dreams. It's said that within only a few months, 4 more patients would come out claiming they had also seen the man in their dreams, with all of them referring to him as this man. The photo then got out, and at least 2,000 more people from multiple different cities around the world recognized this man as someone who appeared frequently in their dreams. This is when the website you're seeing right now would be created, which was in 2008. But it wasn't until 2009 when the media would really start to pick up the story. Different portraits were made, a few of which can be seen on the website. And all around the world, posters with the text, "Ever dream this man," would show up in real life. One of the pages on the website features dreams people have had of this man. For example, one read, "I've always had this dream of flying in the sky over my city and observing my friends from up there. Since I moved to another house, I started meeting this man while flying. Not every single time that I have this dream about flying, but often enough. He flies too, but he never speaks." Another dream on the website read, "The first time I had a dream about this man, I was having a hard time at work.
Τώρα αυτό πόσο παράξενο είναι, γιατί τόσοι άνθρωποι να ονειρεύονται τον ίδιο άντρα.
Suddenly, this man appeared and I started running away from him.
Καλά
Chased
είμαι κι
after
εγώ.
me for what
Τώρα
seemed
είναι
like an
καλά.
hour
Όταν
until I
κλείσω το
found
stream
myself
που θα
against the
θέλω να
wall in a
κοιμηθώ,
kids area in a
θα δω πόσα
supermarket.
είμαι. Με αυτά που βλέπουμε.
At this point, he smiled at me and he showed me the way out towards the cash desks. And
Θα
I
δείξει
woke
πώς
up.
θα πάει.
Ever since that night, this man has appeared in all of my dreams, and he always gives me directions to get out of the dream and wake up. While these are counts, and just the website as a whole can be pretty disturbing, the whole story around this man and the website itself was later found to be a hoax. It was confirmed that it was simply a marketing
Είναι
ploy,
πολύ όμορφος αυτός.
and it was
Γεια
never
είσαι.
revealed it was actually being promoted.
Inside σου γεια είσαι.
While the whole story behind this man is fake, this doesn't discount real people who have actually claimed to have seen this man in their dreams.
Μπορεί να
I
κάνει
mean,
μια
when this
σειρά
whole
και
thing
να
was
του σωματεύει
popular,
και στο
a lot of
υποσυνείδητο.
regular everyday
Δεν
people came
αποκλείεται
out and
βασικά.
confirmed they too had seen the man in their dreams,
Ναι, αλλά
even
είναι
after
σε
the
όλο
whole
τον
story
κόσμο.
behind him was debunked.
Και ποιον θυμίζει.
But ironically, I think the theories page on the website can actually help explain this. One of the theories, named the dream imitation theory, states that when people around the world were being exposed to this phenomenon, they became so deeply impressed that they started
Μετάφραση.
to see this
Γενικά
man in their
βλέπουμε
dreams.
βιντεάκια από.
In other words, the vast amount of news coverage this man was getting is what was causing
Σπούκι
people to then
βιντεάκια.
form this
Από
man in
κάμερες
their own
αυτοκινήτων,
dreams.
από κάμερες
Another
σπιτιών και
theory
τέτοια.
called the daytime recognition
Sorry, τώρα αυτός εδώ είναι ένας άντρας, αυτό το σκετσάκι, το σκίτσο, που τον βλέπουν πάρα πολλοί άνθρωποι στον ύπνο τους για κάποιον λόγο.
theory states that the apparitions of this man are purely casual. The man's face is so incredibly average looking that because we typically don't remember faces in our dreams exactly, our minds end up filling this man's face in their place. Whatever the case, the effect this image and website had on people around the world, even if the story behind them isn't true, is still disturbing. Superbad.com is another extremely strange and seemingly random website. It was first created way back in 1997. Upon visiting the site, I was met with this screen. This is the current homepage for Superbad.com. I say current because the homepage changes to something different around every month or so. Using the Wayback Machine, I was able to see some of the homepages that were used in the past. Some are a lot creepier than others, but still, all of them just look completely random, with no real meaning behind any of them.
Okay, αλλά τι
However,
είναι το
every
site.
homepage will typically have a few clickable links. These links will take you to more random pages, and these random pages will oftentimes have links that lead to even more random pages. Basically, you click through pages
Αυτό το
until you
site
hit
θα
a
είναι
dead
κάτι
end.
κακό.
And there are seemingly
Όχι,
endless pages on the
κάπου σε
site.
πάνε.
who
Πρέπει
are
να
still
ξέρεις
being
πώς να πας εκεί
discovered.
που σε πάνε, αλλά μάλλον κάπου σε
The website
πάνε.
was created by a man named Ben Benjamin. It's said that it was created to give men a way to test the early tools and methods web design had to offer. It's now recognized as a sort of art piece. But a lot of people speculate that it's a lot more than that, and that there's some hidden message somewhere within the pages. Though it's still debated whether that's actually the case or not.
Αν και πολύ artistic το βλέπω, για να είναι παράξενα.
GoodbyeWarden.com is a website dedicated to the last words of death row inmates in the state of Texas. Currently, the website is not up, likely due to a lack of funding, and it probably won't ever be up again. Using the Wayback Machine, you can see that the last time it was up was over a year ago now. The home screen of the website shows only two sentences. They read, 565 death row inmates have been executed in Texas since 1982. These are their last words. The website itself is pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot to it. Interestingly though, there is a page named Word Cloud that displays the most commonly said words in the last statements. But other than that, pretty much all you can do is scroll through the different death row inmates' last words. If you go to the About page, there's a paragraph that reads, "This page is not intended to glorify or denounce the accused. It is not intended to promote or criticize any religion. Rather, it is simply intended to explore the mindsets of 565 human beings who face certain, unavoidable death." And exploring these mindsets is what truly makes this website so unsettling. Clicking through the statements, you'll notice many inmates make apologies as their last statement. But terrifyingly, others maintain their innocence to their last words. And yet, others refuse to even make a last statement. The statements themselves range from short to long. But regardless of what they say, the fact alone that these are the last words being said by human beings is truly disturbing.
το ότι κάποιοι λένε μέχρι τελευταία στιγμή και που είναι να πεθάνουν ότι είναι αθώοι είναι λίγο τρομακτικό. Γιατί λες, μήπως είναι και τους σκοτώνουν με τζάμπα.